Good morning, 8th grade. This week we are going to be completing Unit 2 on nouns. We'll be spending some time reviewing, and at the end of the week we will be writing a test. Today, Monday, we're going to be using Lesson 12 found in your homework packet entitled Appositives. At the top of the page, please put your name, Class 8, and today's date, October 12th. Thank you. In our discussion of appositives, we need to be thinking about a synonym, something that's the same. An appositive is simply a word or a group of words that restates something that has already been said or something that will be immediately said after the words are in the sentence. An appositive is a noun that is placed next to or in opposition to another noun. We're going to take a couple of examples and then look at some sentences that contain appositives. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor, was a famous humanitarian. Do you see what is the same in the sentence? Eleanor is the same as FDR's wife. Notice it's set apart by commas, one in the front and one behind it. The sentence could stand all by itself. FDR's wife was a famous humanitarian. This word, Eleanor, is called an appositive. It gives us more information, but it is not necessary to the meaning of the sentence. The word or words that describe what already has been stated is called the appositive. Eleanor is the appositive. Roosevelt, our 32nd president, was the only president to be elected to the presidency 4 times. Roosevelt was the only United States president to be elected to the presidency 4 times is a simple sentence that could stand all by itself. We have additional information that describes who Roosevelt was. Once again, notice that it is set apart by commas, before and after. In this example, our 32nd president, we have a group of words. That's why it's called an appositive phrase. This is simply called an appositive because it's one word. Now, these words that I have highlighted here in gray are important to remember because sometimes you might find them in a sentence that do not have commas, or you might find them in a sentence in a different spot. For example, number 10 on the back side is an exception to the rule because it comes at the beginning of the sentence. If you would take a moment and turn your paper over and look at number 10, I have it highlighted in red. Martin Van Buren capitalized on the popularity of his predecessor, Andrew Jackson. In this sentence, a former governor of New York describes who Martin Van Buren was. Do you notice that this sentence also has another one? Who is his predecessor? Well, his predecessor is Andrew Jackson. So that points back. But my point in mentioning this for number 10 is because sometimes it can come at the beginning of a sentence, so we want to be watching out for that. my takeaway from today is sometimes sentences contain appositives or they contain appositive phrases. These are words or groups of words that describe something that has already been or shortly will be stated in the sentence. And by that I mean the exception that we just looked at, number 10 on the back side. If you look here on the bottom of the page, we have a couple of sentences that we can use for further examples. George Washington, commander of the Continental Army, led troops during the Revolutionary War. Highlight or underline commander of the Continental Army. Why? Because that is the appositive. They have George Washington circled because those are the words that describe commander of the Continental Army. All you need do is underline or highlight the appositive. We're looking to pick out the appositive on your test. That's exactly what you're going to do. It's going to ask you what word or words are the appositive in the sentence. Number 1. Washington's picture is on a coin, the quarter. The quarter points back to coin. This is the appositive. John Adams succeeded the president, comma, George Washington, comma, as President of the United States. George Washington points back to president. George Washington is the appositive, not president. Adams' wife, Abigail, was well-read and outspoken. Abigail is the appositive. Thomas Jefferson wrote the first draft of a historic document. What is the name? The Declaration of Independence. Class, notice the pattern. Number 1 and number 4, it's at the end of the sentence, set apart by a comma. Number 5 is the same way. It's at the end of a sentence, set apart by a comma. Sentence number 2. Sentence number 3, 6, 9 are all examples where a pair of commas are needed to set apart the appositive. Take a moment and look at the examples numbers 1 through 9 that I have here on page 71. The word or words that I have underlined are called the appositive, or if it's more than one word, the appositive phrase. Again, write yourself a note in the column so that you can ask me it on GoGuardian if you have any question concerning these appositives or appositive phrases on page 71. Then to the back side. We already did number 10. I would like for you to continue with numbers 11 through number 26. 11 through 26. Underline or highlight the appositive or appositive phrase in the sentence. So if you're working on number 23, you would underline or highlight Andrew Jackson. Again, notice the pattern. It's in the middle of the sentence, set apart by 2 commas. Once again, your takeaway from today is identifying word or words in sentences that rename, that restate, that describe something that's already mentioned or that will shortly be mentioned in the sentence. These are called appositives. Your assignment is to complete this page, page number 72. Tomorrow we will be reviewing and preparing for our final review on connected and our test at the end of the week. Have a great Monday.